Hello, everybody. Welcome to an on-location coverage with Sean Martin and me, Marco Ciappelli. Of course, this that you see is not Sean Martin if you're watching the video. And also is not Steve Wiley, which usually we will have this conversation with, but a lot happened this year. We wear a black hat in Las Vegas. Of course, that's a tradition. That's where ITSPmagazine actually was born 11 years ago. And we heard the news that some changes were happening, and unfortunately, I couldn't make it in Europe this year. But pretty much, when you listen to this, Black Hat Europe will be done, and we are lucky here. I am lucky to have Suzy Pallett on because she is in this new role, and is the first time that we get to actually talk together and talk about what happened to the event. So first of all, welcome. And if you can give us a little background about who you are, what is, of course, your role in the Black Hat community, and then we can dive into what happened in London.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you. Thank you, firstly, for introducing me, and thank you for welcoming me. I have been in events in tech really for about the last 25, have known Steve for over a decade, and always been close to Black Hat and Steve himself. And so when this opportunity came up, it was a natural, fit for me to be able to come into the portfolio, knowing what Steve and the community have built, and then how, hopefully with some of the experience that I'd had, we can continue to grow and evolve. Feel very privileged to be part of the Black Hat community just because of the purpose and the impact that you have, but also that it's such a tight community of impacted individuals. So really excited, and been very lucky to see August in Vegas, and also now have the personification of Black Hat in Europe. So yes, super exciting times.
Absolutely. And like I said, we have been covering Black Hat for the longest time, and especially Sean even before me. And so we have seen it grow. We've always had conversation even with Jeff. And of course, there is the whole community that is really, really, really important. That's one of the main reasons why we go to these events. So, but this time we're going to talk, and I don't know, maybe it's a good opportunity to kind of wrap up the year and look into what is coming forward. But we can do that maybe after we actually talk about what just happened in London at the Excel, which is a place that I absolutely love. And I hope I can make it next year because I'm going to be more in Europe. And I'm hoping to get to participate to the Black Hat next year. So what was going on?
As you know, with Black Hat, there is so much going on in different areas of the event. So we had training, which covered a multitude of skills and facets across 4 days and 2 days. We had our briefings, which I'll come on to in terms of some of the topics that were covered. And then our business hall and our community areas had really grown this year in terms of interactive and conversational. But I think for Europe this year, it's felt like the end of the year for everybody, but that's come with a hope and collaboration for next year. So I always find with Black Hat anyway, that strength of community and conversations is always super critical. But I think across Europe this year, we've really seen that lean into, the strength of being together, the reason why it's so good to kind of convene in person, and how everyone feels actually that's so needed in a year that's been really tough for everybody, whether it's because of macro trends, whether it's because of consistent threats. It's been a year that we are continuing to evolve at such a fast pace. And that pace is getting shorter and shorter. I think I heard a fact this year that, what used to happen in 12 years now happens in 2 days, and that's going to get what used to happen in 2 days now happens in 12 seconds. So, with that comes a mindset that it's exhausting for all of us, trying to keep up. But what I've found from this week is the knowledge sharing, the insights, the open source tools that we've shared, the demonstrations that have happened, the briefings, that have covered things like AI agents, have been so instrumental in terms of right, at least that bit's covered for me and I can move on to the next. So yeah, as ever, groundbreaking research and conversations that are actually going to change the game.
I agree with you. When you are in the hall and you talk to people, of course, it's always nice that you get together. you kind of make the joke about the buzzword of the event. Agentic AI, of course, was definitely the one in Las Vegas. I'm assuming, as you mentioned, it was probably there as well. And there is a reason for it. I mean, we try to predict the future in this industry as much as we can. And the future, like you said, is really, really, really fast. I know that Black Hat Europe actually has been also growing, I think, in terms of attendance. So anything that you can tell how many people were there, maybe? I don't know if you run the number yet, so maybe it's too early to ask you.
Slightly too earlier. As you know, we're just on that final moments of the event here. So we're doing the verification at the moment. But do know just from where we are, it's above 25% at least from last year. So nice. Yes, ever growing attendance. And I think just to touch on your other point, yes, AI has been a massive topic as it continues to be. But I think it's really lent into how the AI supply chain and vulnerabilities are, of critical nature. So that's been definitely things that we've been related to in Europe, particularly with the supply chain attack vectors and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Any keynotes? I know there is great name in line. There was Joe Tidy, for example, that I got to meet back in Las Vegas. He writes as a journalist. I have interviewed Geoff White in the past, which is also close to him and the BBC, and he has his podcast. So I like to see that there is also, it's not just the practitioner as it used to be, or the people in that particular industry, the IT and technology, but it actually has become much larger problem, but also a much larger community that comes together. So anything that stand up in conversation or keynotes or talks that they were not necessarily the typical cybersecurity technical conversation.
Yes, definitely. I think that you touched on there the Joe Tidy aspect, and I think that showed because on our day 2, he was the keynote for us on day 2, and it was a record-breaking attendance in terms of that keynote. So that need for that wider conversation, continues to evolve. So yes, Max Meets opened it for us with Inside the Ransomware Machine on the first day. And, that was super interesting just because ransomware, continues and will always be, that thing that we need to keep, running too. But he's saying that there could be a potential, how can we stop it? So an ever evolving conversation. Then we did a morning and afternoon keynote this year. So we had Linus Newman in the afternoon of the first day, which was very much about, how the compliance checklists that we're all being stressed with are actually where the vulnerabilities lie. So that was more of a wider conversation on, where does compliance sit and actually vulnerabilities stop, and how can we work more collaboratively together, that it's not just a compliance checklist that we get and that actually that exposes, us. How can we make sure the compliance checklists are in the right place in the first place? So that was interesting. And then, as I said, into Joe, and then Louise Marie Harrell, who was a researcher, and it was about the technical capacity and international accountability. And I think, as we know, cybersecurity is no longer IT. It is that wider conversation. So things about cross borders, things about compliance, things about accountability matter to the conversation now. And I think we're seeing that in the busyness of the rooms that we have.
Yeah, very cool. What I would like to do, if you don't mind, because obviously it's widen a little bit the conversation, and maybe it's the opportunity to look a little bit back and a little bit forward, because Black Hat, of course, is not just an event that happened in Europe, but it happened first in the United States. It's in Europe, it's in Asia, it's in Riyadh, in the Middle East. And you get to really touch different culture. You need to talk and interact with different people, different community. Is there a common thread throughout these, or you adapt to certain changes and differences in the culture and the way that people do run business? I know it's a big question. We could do a podcast just on that, but just your guts.
A big question in minutes, but absolutely. I'd say there are macro generic topics that are everywhere. So agentic AI as an example, wherever you are in the globe, whichever vertical you're in, that's going to be a conversation. However, the impact or the state of where you are in terms of either progress or threat differs per region, and so you might have different levels of conversation dependent where you are on that scale, or where the particular threat is. Also within region, you have different verticals. And by verticals, I mean industry sectors, so healthcare, automotive, retail, that are more prominent. So it might be that you're really leaning into a particular industry that is facing significant threat that's slightly different to maybe another vertical in a different region. So you tailor accordingly. Some regions, Middle East as an example, workforce is a critical conversation. So you might adapt slightly more in terms of student access and being able to have more students into the floor to be able to grow, that next level of cybersecurity workforce. So I think I'd say the commonality that I see across the board is the collaboration. Cybersecurity is unlike any other industry that I've ever been close to in the strength of that collaboration and the knowledge that is shared. You see in other industries that's held quite close and close to your chest, but we have a common purpose to defend against threats, or to at least provide people the tools to face threats with confidence. So that commonality is widespread across the globe and with any industry sector I see. But definitely there is a tailored approach to what's important in that moment for that region. But I'd say culturally, from a cybersecurity aspect, it's very much a commonality of collaboration whilst you deal with different cultures from regions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I hope that's answered your question in a couple of minutes.
I think you did an amazing job. And I, like I said, we could have an entire podcast on that, on international relationship and governance and sovereignty and all of that. But I think it was important for you to highlight this. And also because I personally look forward eventually to join you guys in different part of the world next year. Mm-hmm. We're already talking about that, and not just in Las Vegas. One last thing about Black Hat in London, in Europe, the vendors. Obviously, this is happening, and it's possible because the business hall that I'm assuming, also growing. I mean, in Las Vegas, every time I don't know where else, how many more you can fit in there, but every year there is more and more. So, any numbers on that, and maybe how did it look like?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to, share some images, which I'm sure you'll see flooded across social media. Yes, there was growth there because, again, there's growth in the sector, and when we've got growth in delegates, that by its very nature will also be growth in kind of business hall floor. I'd say that what I love about the Black Hat business hall floors is it's not your traditional expos where it's just a sales and marketing, kind of push. You have the product teams, you have the engineers, you have the developers, on those stands, and it's still product conversations and technical conversations that have it happening. So within the business hall this year, we had a CTF, we had our Arsenal with about 55 open source demos. We had 2 interactive labs within the Arsenal. And we had startups in our startup spotlight competition, which is like a global spotlight on the next, cybersecurity startups. But it is still, you crossed all of those halls, and it was super busy from morning till, the last day, which is just finished. The conversations are still that depth of technical kind of expertise that you're hearing. So yeah, it's for anybody that comes to visit that's been at other events, I was like, wow, this is so different, because that level of conversation that's happening. So yes, continues to grow, and it will continue to support us to be able to invest in the community and invest in, continuing to grow that community.
Yeah, I agree with you. You actually get to kind of predict the future a little bit when you are around those people, and just by seeing sometimes the new company, the startup, or the one that rebrand themselves, you kind of feel the pulse of what's coming and what is the hot topic right now. And even if it does seems that everybody in the end, it's sometimes is selling the same product or certain category of product, again, like I said before, there is a reason for that. And for me, events like this, they are where the present and the future happens, and they're very, very important. So talking about the future, before I let you go, and you can get the last minute there on the floor and whatever you guys are doing, and then hopefully get a good rest and then just start again in the new year. What are you excited about for the year to come now that you are in full role with Black Hat Cybersecurity?
I think I am excited in the most to listen to the community. So, the community is the heart of Black Hat. So prioritizing the community through, continuing the success of our briefings, really the review boards and advisory boards that we work with, doing more of ambassadorial programs with the community, more of our scholarships to pay back to the community. So I think that's what I'm personally excited about, because around that we will then be able to build and invest in the events, different regions that we cover, and potentially, reach more of the community in different parts of the globe, or bring them into the events that we have. So that's where I'm excited. And I think that's at the heart of Black Hat and will continue to be so. So it's definitely one of our significant priorities is how we can continue to be the place where the community feels authenticated, feels trusted, and feels that, this is a platform for them and by them.
Yeah, learning is definitely one of the things that makes Black Hat unique. And,
yes.
and I think it's very important, as you say, because it's not going away. We do our best. Cybersecurity and cybercrime, it's always going to be there, and it's our job to mitigate it more than think that there's going to be. I mean, I hope there'll be a magic button, but I don't see that coming. It's going to be the usual never-ending good versus evil fight, and that may be just who we are. So
it certainly is. It's that cat and mouse game, isn't it? And I think that what Black Hat's trying to do is make sure that we're the cats, or like that we're kind of being able to go. But it is continued, and unfortunately we'll continue to do so. But we, want to be able to be a platform and facilitate the community as much as possible to have that advantage.
Yep. And I'm excited for the new year and to be on location at the event and get to meet you in person. And I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank you for being here and taking your time in a very busy moment. And to everybody to stay tuned. We'll bring you more and more cybersecurity and society conversations to you in video and podcast format. Thank you very much, Suzy.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Marco. Take care.
Thank you.